Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. A weird night for the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. Different. Of course, you know that Mitchell Robinson fractured his foot. Looks like he's going to be out, maybe for the remainder of the season. And the Knicks beat the Bucks, but it was weird. The Milwaukee Bucks, no Antetokounmpo, well, not Giannis at least. No Chris Middleton, no Drew Holiday, no Dante DiVincenzo. None of these guys. None of these guys played. The Knicks didn't have Julius Randle. The Knicks didn't have Reggie Bullock. And then Mitchell Robinson goes down with a fractured foot. And the game, it's just a weird game. The Milwaukee Bucks decided to play zone the entire game, and I could see it from the beginning of the game that this is what they were going to do. They came out the gate playing zone. It only made sense that they would continue to play zone for the entire game. That was their game plan. And you know what? It worked. It worked. Right? They played the percentages. They said, you know what? We don't think the Knicks is going to be hot this entire game. We'll go ahead and play zone. You know why? Because they knew they couldn't defend us man-to-man. We'd run right past them. And they kind of figured that we'd hit a couple of stretches where we missed shots because we're just not that type of three-point shooting team. We don't really have snipers like that. So they played that 2-3 zone. They played it well. Fortunately, it didn't work out for them, and it worked out for us. We ended up winning the game. Won our third straight. Let's talk about this game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about this game. We're now 2 games above 500. So that's a good thing. But it's rough when you come on the show and you almost feel like you lost. Right? You're not excited. You're not hyped. Because, you know, you played a depleted Bucks squad. You had guys out. You know, so, you know, and then you lost Mitch. After the Knicks said that they're not interested in Andre Drummond, they lose their starting center. What can you do? Such is the life of a Knicks fan, ladies and gentlemen. Such is the life of a Knicks fan. Let's go ahead and talk about this game and break this thing down and figure out what we're going to do from here on out. Let's get to it. Well, you know what? Before we even get to that, I might as well break down the numbers behind the game and give you the box score and all that kind of stuff. Some of you guys might just be joining me and didn't get a chance to see the game, so I'm going to give it to you. They had a bunch of guys that you never heard of step up and play some basketball. They had one, they were led by Antetokounmpo, but not the one that you know of. His brother, his older brother, that is. Thanasis, you know, the guy that used to play for the Westchester Knicks. He had 23 points and 10 rebounds tonight. 5 assists. He played like an all-star. He was 4 for 5 from the three-point line. 80%, ladies and gentlemen. This man shot 80% from the three-point line. He was 8 for 15 from the field. He shot 53% from the field. He had the game of his life. The game of his life. Career high, 23 points. Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Jordan Inora. He had 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists. 1 steal. Brook Lopez had 12 points and 10 rebounds. He also had 4 steals and 2 blocks. Sam Merrill. He had 8 points. Brian Forbes had 10 points. Pat Connaughton, he had 12 points. What are you going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Again, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Dante DiVincenzo, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, these guys, they sat out. They didn't play tonight versus the New York Knicks. As for the Knicks were led by none other than R.J. Barrett and Alec Burks. RJ Barrett almost had a triple-double tonight. He had 21 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 steal. He's 3 for 10 from the three-point line, 8 for 22 from the field. He didn't shoot great, but he scored the points that we needed. Alec Burks, he had 21 points and 10 rebounds, also 5 assists. He also had 2 blocks. He shot well. He shot 50% from the three-point line, 6 for 12. Alec Burks also went 53.8% from the field. He was 7 for 13. Derrick Rose had 13 points. Emmanuel Quigley had 13 points. Elfrid Payton had 9 points and 4 assists. Nerlens Noel had 6 points, 11 rebounds. He had 3 blocks to go along with it. Obi Toppin gave us some good minutes in the first half. He had 6 points, but he didn't grab a rebound. Kevin Knox played 12 minutes in the second half. He had 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal. He played some decent basketball for us. It was needed. Jared Harper, Frank Ntilikina, and Theo Pinson did not get in the game. The Knicks shot 44 three-point shots tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The highest amount of attempts this season, 44. They shot 36.4%. They made 16. Now, the reason why is because, the Milwaukee Bucks played zone, and they took the chance that we were not going to light it up from the three-point line. The Knicks only went to the free throw line 8 times. It was 6 for 8 from the free throw line. The Knicks did have 28 assists. But I do want to say to you this. Let's not get too excited about the 44 three-point attempts. Let's not get too upset about only 8 free throw attempts. Let me say that again. Let's not get too excited about the 44 three-point attempts. Let's not get too upset about only 8 free throw attempts. And let's not get too excited about the 28 assists. Because all of these factors, all of these statistics are directly related to the zone that Milwaukee played. The 28 assists are because the Knicks had no choice but to swing the basketball. When a team plays a full game of zone, you have no choice but to swing the basketball. And that is going to lead to assists. Right? So let's not say, well, maybe the Knicks turned the corner. That's why they got 28 assists. No, it's because the zone dictates how the ball moves. And you got to move that basketball in order to make the zone shift. Let's not get too excited about only 8 free throw attempts. Because again, when you're playing a zone, you're not getting a lot of penetration to the basket. You're not putting a lot of pressure on the defense. So you're not going to get fouled and go to the line as much. Plain and simple. That's how it's going to happen. And of course, the three-point shots, that's what's going to be open. That's what they wanted to be open. That's why we took that many attempts. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about this game, man. And we'll get into some obvious things about this game. Let's go ahead and let's do it. Tony Crow, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Salute, Sam. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. Shout out to the panel. What's up, guys?
My man.
Well, a standout to me was obviously Burks again. Another 20-point game. Another dominant fourth quarter. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him, man. RJ, it's great to see that consistently he could have a bad game, a bad shooting night, and still be productive scoring and doing other things. The assist, that's a career high, right? 7?
Yeah, I think that's a career high, yeah.
Career high in assists. I think last game he had 5. Yeah, he's rounding out his game, and we needed a little bit more. We was going to need a little bit more from him with Randall out tonight. So, those are the 2 standouts. Again, like you said, it's a downer of a game because we lost Mitch, man. And I was emotional about it. We were speaking about Derrick Rose finding out in the post game, and yeah, it just brought the emotions. He brought the emotions right back into us watching the way he reacted.
Yeah,
So,
he was Derrick Rose, man. If you guys watched the post game, he was hurting a little bit, and almost sounded like he was gonna cry. As a matter of fact, let's listen to it right here. You can hear, if you didn't get a chance to hear Derrick Rose's post game interview, just listen to it here. It sounds like look, this man was about to shed some tears if Mike Breen didn't, tell him to go back to the locker room.
Mitchell Robinson looks like he's going to be out for a while with the fractured foot. You know what it's like. You didn't know.
No.
Yeah, that's the word that we received, and they're going to know tomorrow more the severity of it. You know as well as anybody the mental challenge of coming back from an injury. He just was out with a broken hand. I mean, how can you help him, and how do you deal with going through something like that again?
Oh man, I'm lost for words right now, bro. I mean, just stay with him, pray for him, and.
Derek, we'll let you go. We didn't realize that you hadn't been told. Terrific win, but go be with your teammates. Thank you.
And those who've seen it and watched it, you could see it in his face a little bit that he was almost going to come to tears. It's about to come to tears. And I feel bad for Mitch too, man. The kid is trying to. The kid is he's trying to make it, trying to figure it out, and he breaks a hand and then he comes back from it. He's excited to play. He twists the ankle his first game back. He twists his ankle, then he comes back and he breaks a foot. That's tough for the kid, man. That's tough for him.
Hey, Sam, two things real quick. In the beginning of in that post game interview, that was the most energetic I've seen Rose in this stint or the last stint with us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like he, I don't know. Clyde said something. I think it was something about the chemistry of the team, but like he got excited. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen Rose like that.
Yeah,
like
Clyde asked
he's not a vocal person.
Right. Clyde asked him. He told him. He was like, you looked good. You didn't look rusty. And he was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I jump back. I jump back like, oh, look, like he's
right.
Showing emotion, but in a good sense. You know what I mean? Like he's opening up, kind of like, you know what I mean? He doesn't seem sheltered as normal. And then to watch how it switched by the end of the interview, you know what I mean? Like. I picked up on that heavy. So and then I did want to shout out his play. His play tonight was great as well.
Yeah. Isaiah, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's going on, Sam? Kev, Eddie, Tony, Andre Drummond. Yeah, man. This is definitely a bittersweet game, man. It was so crazy watching it because when you watch Mitch, you watch go down, you're like, dang, man, it's so unfortunate. But before I know we're gonna talk about that, but RJ Barrett, this kid keeps getting better, man, and it's crazy. So I remember when he was playing, when he was shooting bad and wasn't making any shots, he was still contributing. We talked about it. It was it's good Tony mentioned that because this is like. He was doing that when he was shooting bad. Now he's scoring. He's still shooting bad a little bit, but he's stepping up because he was the main focus today for the Bucks. But this kid keeps stepping up, keep getting better. He's helping us right now, man. And he's in. Listen, Zion, RJ, 1 out of 3 is helping their team go to the playoffs. So Burke stepped up too, man. So it's a bittersweet win today, son. And I'm so happy that we didn't have the Giannis revenge game because where was this when he was on the Knicks? I would have greatly appreciated had one of these 20-point games.
Well, I mean, when he was on when he was on the Knicks, there were two things at play. One, the Knicks were trying to recruit Giannis, okay, and two, he just got to develop. You know, you got to learn how to play basketball. You know, that's the reason why he was on the Knicks, though. You know, they were trying to get Giannis to come to the Knicks.
And so I'm not gonna lie, Tim, almost broke my TV when I watched this Joker hit that D3, like that deep long three. I said,
and you know what was getting me about him? Listen, you know what was getting me about him? Like, you know, he had his chest puffed out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hit his shot, he got his chest puffed out, shoulders broad. I'm like, yo, chill out. Calm down, man.
Sid, so it's crazy, right? Wait, Sid, I was on Gilmore's show watching the game with Gilmore. Shout out to Knicks Leads in the podcast. I was so when he hit that shot and the way he was pumping, like you said, pumping his chest, acting all cocky, I'm like, dude, no disrespect. Listen, Sid, no disrespect. Any NBA player that's in the NBA, they're great. But bro, you on the team because of your brother. Let's call it a spade.
But you know what though?
I like that. I like that.
Yo, but you know what though?
I don't like that it was against us. I don't like that it was against us, but I like that, and I like that confidence because that's what you need to succeed. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and watching him, like you could see his improvement. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. He's like, maybe he is on a team because of his brother, but he was hooping, so you can't. You know, he was hooping, but
and Sam, that other dude, the light skinned dude, I was getting mad at him too, because I'm like, yo, Taj was getting cooked by this dude. I'm like, jeez Louise, man.
But that was good defense.
Yeah, these guys were hitting shots, man. They were hitting some good shots. I mean, we had a couple of breakdowns, but they was hitting some shots. But let's get back. Let's talk about, get a little deeper into the game. Talk about Mitch and all of that. Kev, your boy, the whole reason you got the name Cornerstone Kev. One of the reasons. He's gone down. He's gone down. He's gone down. Man, down. So now what do we do?
Yeah, it was crazy.
What do we do? Looks like Andre Drummond's on his way to L.A. At least that's what it sounds like. Who knows if Leon Rose and those guys reached out to him? I doubt it. The reason why I say that is because during the broadcast, Mike Breen made it a point to say, even though Mitchell Robinson has gone down, the Knicks are not going to reach out to Andre Drummond. So that said to me that Leon Rose or whoever it was got a message to Mike Breen, make sure that you say this to let the fans and everybody know that we are not going after Andre Drummond. But it is clear that we're going to need a backup center, right? Because we can't rely on Nerlens Noel or Taj Gibson to stay healthy. We're going to need a third center. Sounds like Gorgie Dang, if I said his first name right, might be the guy that they look into. Of course, you can't forget that Boogie Cousins is out there. I'm not too excited about that move. You know what I mean? But those are some guys, some names that are out there. Talk to me about it, Kev. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, salute to the chat. Salute to my brothers on the panel. Yeah, man. We got to get some depth there at that center spot. I guess the guy you named, I'm not going to try and repeat his name, but the guy you just named, I guess we're going to, go after him and everything.
Just say Dang.
Yeah, Dang. There you go. Dang. Hey, Tone, when I think of Dang, I'm thinking of the other Dang.
I know, that's why it's easy.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to quote something from the Avengers Age of Ultron movie. Cap said, if they hurt you, hurt them back. If you get killed, what did he say?
Well, if you get killed, you ain't doing nothing back. So I don't know what that. If you get killed, you ain't doing nothing back.
Now. If you get killed, yeah. If you get killed, walk it off. That's what he said.
Yeah,
so
okay.
My whole thing is, as much as I love Mitch, yeah, that was a good, but I had a senior moment. As much as I love Mitch, we gotta, we gotta move on. And I like the way that we were conservative, towards the trading deadline, but now it seems as though that we need to add, just some center depth. to this team. But overall, it was a strange game. But I'm glad that we found a way to win it, even if it was just a bunch of guys that quite frankly, I believe that we weren't prepared for a lot of these guys, and that's the reason why we didn't blow them out per se. But it was good to see Obi Toppin, for at least a stint, find his way a little, and it was great to see Knox out there as well. And it's going to be interesting going forward with it too and everything. Right. I like Knox's activity.
Yeah, and
that's it.
When you play a team that has a bunch of guys that you're not familiar with, and those guys haven't gotten a lot of playing time, the one thing you can expect from them is that they know and they understand that this is my chance. This is one chance that I have to let everybody else in the NBA know. And I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about executives, coaches, general managers. Let these people know that I can play basketball and I have a talent that you need. This is their one chance. So right. They're coming out to play hard because they're trying to prove to everybody around the league, not just their coach, that they're worthy of a contract. That's what makes it tough. That's what makes it tough. And, of course, you don't know what these guys do. You don't have a scouting report on how these guys play. You don't know how the opposing coach, and I want to give take my hat off to Budenholzer for coaching a pretty good basketball game with the players that he had on the floor. He decided he was going to go zone the entire game. He put in players that he knew could shoot the basketball. I mean, scouting the Knicks and understanding this is where the Knicks are weak, and we're going to try to take advantage of that. And that's what he did. Eddie, what's going on, man? Welcome to the chat.
What's up? How you doing, Sam?
I'm good,
What's
brother.
up, Cornerstone? What's up, Tony Pro?
Hey, how you feeling, Eddie? All right.
Doing good, man. You almost talked me out of what I was going to say right now, but really this game had me really depressed. It had me really, really depressed because I was looking for us to come out better than we did. Like you said, I got to tip my hat to Budenholzer. He did a great job with what he had. You can tell, good coaches because he left some good players on the bench like Pat Connaughton and Forbes. He didn't start those players. He could have. It's kind of like what Tom Thibodeau does. That sometimes people don't understand. And it's just that's just the way these coaches think. But it really had me depressed because I was looking for a little bit more fight out of my team, not even having Julius Randle out there, but I was looking for something more, some more fight, and I didn't see it throughout the whole game. Only, I guess, when it came to the fourth quarter that they put their foot to the metal and came out with the win. Mitch also was very depressing to see Mitch go down. Where listening to Derrick Rose's reaction, you could tell how much he means to the team. On the court and in the locker room. And it's pretty unfortunate to see him go down. He was coming back from his injury, and I really wanted to see how he looked for the next month or so that we were playing, to see how the team would play together with him, RJ, Julius, everybody on the team back. And it looks like now that's not going to happen. It puts a damper on a lot of things and on a lot of levels for me. Like, I don't know if he's going to come back this year. I don't know if the Knicks move on. I think they have a lot of decisions that they have to make because the injury, I think it's in a bad timing. It's really bad timing. He's coming on that contract. He wants to get paid. They want to see how he does with the team, but he hasn't been healthy this year. So they're losing a full season without seeing how he looks.
Right.
And I'm kind of thinking that they might move on. They might move on from him and look somewhere else in the free agent market coming this offseason and to see what they have. Seeing how they've been being frugal with their money. I don't know if they're going to spend money on Andre Drummond this year or next year. I don't know if you want to tie up that money on Andre Drummond.
Yeah,
better they use it on.
It's hard to say what they're thinking and what they're going to do. At this point, they're probably just going to go get a stopgap. They've had some success with Nerlens Noel starting at the center spot and Taj Gibson backing them up. I think they'll just get a stopgap that can come off the bench, not going to ruffle any feathers. I think that's what they're thinking is right now. It seems to me to be clear that they're not going to go after Andre Drummond. You know,
But you think they'll get that other guy, right? You think they'll get that other guy, right?
they might. They might.
Actually, they might get him, but I'm looking more towards somebody like John Henson.
Or okay.
Because it kind of like fits the mold of exactly what the players that we have are, long defensive-minded players. And I think they're looking along those lines. But I really don't know what they're going to do. I mean, they can go either or. I don't think Gorgie Dang is a bad play. I would like for them to go for a wing. Somebody like Otto Porter comes to mind. But I would like for them to go for a big wing because I think they're going to need that once the playoff comes by, to guard Jimmy Butler and these types of players. Even you can even put Otto Porter on somebody like Giannis. But it's hard to say now what they're thinking because this team has been very quiet. They never say what they're going to do, which I like. And, it just keeps people thinking. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys.
John Henson. Who's that?
John Henson, he's just a tall center. He used to play for Milwaukee, actually. Milwaukee.
Okay.
Let me ask you guys, how do you feel? I'm going to start with you, Justin. Glad to see you back in the chat. How do you feel about teams in the NBA playing zone the entire game?
Wow. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, but that goes to show you that they were feeling like the Knicks couldn't hit no jump shots at all without Julius Randle there. So they said, we're going to try to play a zone defense all day and I think Milwaukee was going to be happy whether they beat them with the jump shot and they were going to live or die with it. I really don't have a problem with any team playing whatever defense they want to play. If that's what they feel that is going to help them win the game, then by all means go for it. Even in any sport at that, whether you have, even in football, you have a team that might blitz all day and they blitz, they feel like they're going to win. I really didn't have a problem with it. The fact that we didn't have Randall though, and we still won the game, even though they didn't have their best players. I mean, to me, that goes to show you that we're a tough team, regardless of who we have on our lineup in any given day. So I mean, I really have no problem with any team the way they want to play defense.
Okay, all right. Tony, what about you? You have any problems with a team in the NBA just going straight up zone? I mean, when you play high school basketball, AAU basketball, you heard Derrick Rose talk about it in the after game. You see that all the time, right? All the time you see teams play zone the entire game. College too, right? Teams play zone the entire game because, when you're at those levels, you've got to try to hide certain players, right? Some players can play man-to-man. Some players can't play man-to-man. I mean, you got to hide players and hide their weaknesses. And the zone, helps you to hide some of those weaknesses. In the NBA, you hope that all of your players can play man defense. And while I do agree, Justin, that they thought, hey, we're going to challenge the Knicks shooting to see if they can be consistent throughout the game. I also think that they were afraid that they didn't have the defenders that can stay in front of us all night long, and that if they played man, they would have been blown out the water. This was a way to kind of level the playing field, take away, the athleticism of the Knicks versus them, right? Because the Knicks had more athletes than them.
I mean, they chose. In my opinion,
Go ahead, Justin. Go ahead.
Oh no, the way I see it, that Julius Randle didn't play, which is obviously your best player on the roster, and they didn't have their best defenders as far as Giannis and Middleton is concerned, but they was like, okay, we're gonna live with one way or the other, we're going to die with our strength. And they felt like their strength was the zone defense, which they was like, okay, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us on the jump shot. You're not going to beat us with any penetration because you don't have anybody other than Derrick Rose at the roster that can actually probably penetrate, and they said they're going to live or die with the jump shot. And, great win, dog win, but we won. Win is a win.
Yeah. Tony, how do you feel about it?
I like the fact that they ran the zone just so we can get more accustomed to it. A lot of teams ran the zone early in the season against us. It kind of dulled down. I think Miami might have ran a little bit of zone as well, but other than that, it was sporadic us playing against it. But I think it's going to be vital down the line because I think it's going to be used. It might not be used for a whole game, but it's going to be used again. So
right.
we're going to have to get accustomed to it. We're going to have to figure out who's our zone busters. And there's been times in the past, not this particular year, but where we weren't a good defensive team, and a couple other people were calling like play some zone to negate some of these defenders who aren't very good. And I agree. I think that's more so why they ran the zone. I don't think it was more a testament to them testing our shooting. I think it was all guys that don't normally get burned, getting a lot of burn today. They didn't want to be exposed. You know what I mean? They even though they probably have more of a game plan for our players than we did for theirs, they just haven't been playing, most of these guys that played tonight. So right. they probably weren't going to be adequate man to man.
Right.
One thing I noticed today, which was really important, was just the ball movement from today. That helped with the zone. And, we actually, we made our shots today. And I think, I think our shooting has gotten a lot better from the beginning of the season, Tony was saying about the zone. That, back when we had our shooting slumps, we were getting killed because we just couldn't make shots. Now we got, Bullock shooting good, RJ shooting good, Burke shooting good. We got some of these guys shooting, Randall shooting good. So now they have to respect that. So, and that's a good thing. And then, the ball movement is going to definitely help with the zone. The ball movement, we get the ball movement, someone's going to be open. So we just got to keep going with that, man.
Well, the thing is, the ball movement today was dictated by the zone, in my opinion. It was really dictated by the zone. You have no choice when you're in the zone but to move the ball to try to find the gap. Even earlier in the season when teams were playing zone against us, we were still moving the basketball. We just weren't hitting the shots. But the ball was moving to wherever that open spot was, and we were trying to find the open shooter, and we would find the open shooter, and we would miss it. Tonight, we were hitting more of those shots. I will also say I thought we did a good job of penetrating the zone, right? Especially in the first half. Yeah. We did a good job. I remember Elfrid Payton penetrated all the way to the basket. They called a timeout, and they ripped into their guys. We're in a zone. You can't let a guard get all the way to the basket, right? And then they came out, and they started trying to block shots and, make sure that they didn't get to the basket.
Also,
it's like I thought what happened. Also, what I thought was actually kind of a better fit for us was that Randall wasn't there to have the ball all the time. So to me, the Knicks were forced to move the ball and just move it around, and it's not sticking to one player to make it so predictable like we usually are. So I thought that was a benefit. One benefit of Randall not being there, it forced us to actually move the ball better than we usually do.
Well, Isaiah, we've played against the zone with Randall. You have to play. It's not going to be any different with Randall on the floor against the zone. He can't do what he normally does if they're playing the zone. He has to play against the zone, which means the ball still has to move. I think maybe we would have had a better advantage with him on the floor, but I don't think he would have been able to do what you're saying against the zone. We've seen him, you know what I mean? There's really only but so much you can do against the zone. and it's got to be ball movement. To me, I feel like it's an IQ booster. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to think the game. You got to look for the open guy. Everybody does. You know what I mean? And we did some good backdoor plays. I seen Burt get a basket under the rim from a Noel dish. We've seen a couple of plays like that today. So there's a few ways to do it, and I think it's building the IQ of our players, because now they got to think the game a little bit more and a little bit faster.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I I look at the team tonight. You know, the guys that we were going up against, and it was a close game down the stretch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a close game down the stretch. With Randall there, I'm hoping that it wouldn't have been a close game down the stretch.
Right.
Even if they're in the zone.
Yeah, my opinion, I would have, if I was Budenholzer, I would have thrown a little bit of man-to-man just to shake it up a little bit. You saw that with earlier in the year when we played Charlotte. They did zone, but then switched up to man-to-man as well. So I guess I would have just given, if I was the Bucks coach, I would have thrown a couple of wrinkles in there. I mean, if you're going to do zone, that's fine, but I wouldn't have tried to done it the whole game, because right now, I think this team now is much better handling the zone than we were in the beginning of the season. Yeah. Because you saw they were getting it into the middle, and what I loved was when RJ was getting it, and he was trying to to work out from it in the paint and everything when he was getting it. That's what I really liked. So I think we're when the zone is thrown at us, I believe that we're handling it a lot better than what we did in the beginning.
Yeah, and listen, I think the reason why they went zone the entire game is because it was keeping them close. It was keeping them close, and I think Budenholzer was afraid that if he went man just for 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, the game would have got away from him. Right? Even when we did build an 11-point lead, the zone still kept them close enough because it was forcing the Knicks to shoot a lot of long shots. Right? And he was playing those percentages that the Knicks weren't going to shoot 50% from three. They were going to continue to shoot 36, 37%, meaning you're missing a lot of those shots, which is giving your team a chance to get back and score. So I think that was, that was a big part of the reason why he decided to just stick with that zone the entire night. I mean, and it's close.
I think it's just that's our weakness. That's like all the coaches know that you put a zone against the Knicks and they're not going to play well. I mean, that's part of the way the game looks so depressing, because they did play zone the whole game, and we did enough to win the game, but we were never able to break away because of the zone. So I could just imagine. I mean, to me, Miami plays a better zone than Milwaukee does. If Milwaukee starts to play that zone, Miami starts to play that zone against us in the playoffs, we're going to be in deep trouble. And the way that they do it, that they play man, and then all of a sudden when they come out of a timeout, they play zone, and it looks like we're not ready for it. It's going to be troublesome to see, because we still don't. I think now having Rose, before when they started playing the zone, we didn't have him. I think Rose is a player that can bust that.
Exactly.
Bust that zone, get into the teeth of the defense and kick out a little bit more compared to Elfrid Payton. Mm-hmm. And but even RJ is a little bit slower when it comes to trying to get in the teeth of the defense. And it's not a good look for us when they start playing zone against us. And I know that's our weakness. Like, I would play zone against us all the time, to be honest.
Right. That's definitely that's definitely one of our weaknesses. I thought in the first half we handled it really well. We were knocking down some shots. We were getting in the teeth of the defense, knocking down some threes, moving the basketball. In the third quarter, I thought we started to miss those threes. Right. And then in the fourth quarter, we started to hit those threes again. So we went through a couple of different waves throughout the game and knocking down that three. In the second half, Tom Thibodeau decided to go with Kevin Knox instead of Obi Toppin. Eddie, how'd you feel about that?
That was something that I wanted to bring up, actually. Yeah, I wanted to know what you guys felt about it. Me, I really don't know how I feel about that yet. If it happens in the next game, you know, where Obi gets sat down, because I kind of saw him a couple of times on the bench and he didn't look too happy about it. He didn't look like his original upbeat self. It could be like, hey, anytime you get benched, you know, you can put a little self-doubt in yourself. And Kevin Knox, for all it's worth, the few times that I've seen him come in, he's been playing good defense. He's been reading the defense well, kicking out. He's been shooting his shot. And I wouldn't mind seeing Knox play a little bit more to see what he can do to help us out, because, to be honest, Obi's not really giving us much, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
Obi Toppin is going to be a play. I think his game is. I mean, I was okay with the pick this year with him though, but the way the offense is playing this year, Obi Toppin is going to be either staying on the bench or there will be some type of trade package, maybe in the off season where he's involved, because I think Obi Toppin's game is for like a real up tempo offensive game, a run and gun game. Even when he's on the floor, like, he doesn't look like, you know, that he belongs on that floor right there. He looks like he's slower than he is younger in a way, and he doesn't know what to do while he's on that floor. I don't think he's a fit with this offense system at all right this year.
Okay.
Well, just
I mean, I seen
I'm sorry to cut you. You cut off my video here.
Huh?
Yeah, I can't see you. We can't see you.
Yeah, on the other side.
Nah, I don't know. Go ahead. We'll try to get that back. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was going to say was, ask Justin. I mean, if we do go that route, do you see us getting a first for him, or what do you think?
I would say I definitely would go for a first rounder, because I'm not going to ask for a second rounder for him. I mean, he was the overall 8th pick in the draft, and I think he has a lot of potential, but I think he has a lot of potential with an offensive system that is a run and gun offense. I don't think he's a player that's ready for a slow down grind offense that we're playing this year in a way. You know, he is more of a fast pace. He's basically a highlight machine, you know? And
So,
I mean, definitely I'm asking for a first rounder. I'm definitely asking for a first rounder, because
how high of a first rounder are you asking for?
Huh?
How high of a first rounder are you asking for?
Well, below his.
I mean, depending on the
Yeah, like what type of what? How high? Like what type of draft pick? What number draft pick are you looking for? To trade
what
over?
number? Based on, I don't think no team is going to give us a top 5 pick, you know, unless we're taking back something in return. But I mean, top 20.
So I don't think that's a good idea, because I mean, you took the kid with the 8th pick, and you're going to sell him off next year for a top 20 pick, and that's just not the way. That's not the way people do business, or especially Leon Rose.
Yeah, I think.
That if unless he shows some type of, if he stays the way he is, I mean, and we just decide, okay, he's not working out in New York,
brother. I think you just got to be patient. You got to be patient with him.
I would be patient.
But see, I mean, listen, it's Leon Rose's pick. I think that Leon Rose is at least going to give him to the end of his rookie contract. I really do think that. You know what I mean? You know, listen, I've been as critical as it can be. I've been as critical as you can be on Obi Toppin, but I do think at least you got to let him play out his rookie contract and see what happens. But I think the reason why Kevin Knox came in that fourth quarter, not the fourth quarter, in the second half, is because he can knock down that corner three with a little bit more consistency, and it paid dividends, bam, just like that. As soon as he came in, he was open in the corner, and he knocked down the corner three. He grabbed a couple of rebounds. I think he got a steal tonight. So he played some good positive minutes. and it's performances like this. Now, of course, he was playing against a defense that's tailor-made for what he does right now. Tailor-made for him, playing against that zone. But it does put a little bit of pressure out there, maybe on Obi, or it tells Tibbs, yeah, maybe I need to put this guy. Maybe it's time for Knox to get his goal. I've been on it for weeks. For weeks, I've been like, we need to see Kevin Knox out there getting his burn. You know what I'm saying? But
he didn't have any mishaps either on defense. I didn't see anyone, any guys beating him, to wherever. He looks pretty good on defense.
He was all right. I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to see Obi because he did play, pretty okay-ish today. But I understand the circumstances that we got to get this win today.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he played okay-ish. Everyone says that because he made a couple of baskets.
He's got rebounds. He's got to get rebounds.
He didn't get any rebounds. He didn't get any assists, any steals. He didn't do anything like that. He got an alley-oop and, a couple of baskets that were given to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think he did anything to say, yes, now I'm here. Now I deserve to be out there for people to say, oh, he was playing well. He just made a couple of baskets. That's going to happen to you when you're on the court. You're going to make some baskets.
Me personally, I'm trying to find something positive because it's just like me. I'm personally over him. I'd rather trade him now or trade him, because
the deadline's over.
Yeah.
Can't trade him. No, I'm saying you can't trade him now. The deadline's finished.
Well, yeah, I know. Maybe next year.
I don't understand why we're so quick to pull a trigger on these players if they're just. Well, Obi's a little bit older.
I'm not, Eddie. I'm not.
They're 20, 21 years old. Knox is 21 years old. He's starting to just come into his own right now. I mean, when he's 23 years old, he might look like a completely different player.
Right.
Sort of the same way that Julius Randle now at the age 26 looks like he does now. Like, I'm always one to preach patience. There's a lot of people that always say, there were so many people that were upset because the Knicks didn't make a move. And it's like, why are you going to trade players that are part of the cohesive unit that's making a push and playing so well to bring in somebody else that you don't know is going to be cohesive? That's going to be a team player, a locker room player. And you can be it could be a detriment to the team. Like, I understand when the Knicks don't give up on Ntilikina. They don't give up on Knox. They don't give up on these types of players because they're building together from the ground up. They're like little puppies, man. And once you take, you move on those little puppies, man, forget about it. You don't know how they're going to react. And especially if you bring in a bad personality into the room and you can't do anything with them now, you're going to mess up the whole mechanism and how we've been playing this year. You know what I'm saying? It looks like
Eddie
really likes each other.
I like that thought, Eddie. That was good.
Hold
on, let him finish one at a time.
Why do you think they didn't get rid of Ntilikina? I mean, Ntilikina is a great locker room presence. He doesn't score. No, he's not going to give you 20 points a game. But there's a lot of things that he does on the court that is so effective that's worth more than 2 points. He takes away points from the other team, and that doesn't show up in the box score. But people don't look at that. People just want Ntilikina to score 13 to 15 points, and that's how he's going to tell people that he's good. That's not what it's all about, man. Why is Obi not getting the love from Tom Thibodeau? Because he's not doing the little things. It's not because he's not dunking. He dunks the ball or he can put up a jump shot, mid-range jump shot that everybody all got hyped. He wasn't doing the little things. He wasn't sticking to his man. He wasn't getting the rebounds. He wasn't boxing out. He wasn't blocking shots. And those are the things that the coaches look at to see, all right, I could keep this guy on the floor. That's why he got pulled today, because he wasn't doing those little things. You might have saw the dunk. You might have saw the little mid-range. But Knox came in and he shot the ball, but then he got a rebound. He kicked out to a three-pointer for a three-point shot. He stayed on his man. He got a steal. Those little things are going to give you more minutes, man. And that's what we got to look at as not like fans, as like critical thinkers and how to critique NBA. This is why those people don't make those moves. These people that get paid millions of dollars don't just go and trade these players for nothing, and everybody's up in arms talking about, way to make moves to make the team better and this and that. It's just more than that. It's just not trading for trade.
Yeah. Go ahead, Isaiah.
But to say, but I wanted to say so I agree with you with the Frank thing. I've always said it about Frank. Frank does a little thing that you're not going to see on box scores, and he's a great teammate. Everybody loves him. RJ loves him, all that stuff. But see, the difference why I'm really not so lenient with Obi Toppin is that there were a lot of red flags with Obi when we drafted him that he just wasn't going to show up. Like, he didn't play defense in college. He has no type of footwork. He literally almost got cooked by Thanos or whatever his name is. Like, just, basic dribbles. There's not one skill that Obi Toppin does that's good right now. And I think, my thing is that, yes, it's cool that, people want to build, but the dude's 23. And to me, his gap for learning isn't as big as Kevin Knox's, because Kevin Knox, he's still younger than Kevin. Like, he's still younger than, he's older than RJ Barrett. He's older than Kevin Knox. He's older than Frank. He's only 3 years younger than Randall. So,
but when you look at the draft, when you look at the whole draft, right? When you're a management and you're looking at the whole draft and you're saying, okay, these players are going to go here, these players are going to go here. Once we got to the 8th pick, there was only 2 power forwards left. And nobody knew that Randall was going to play as well as he did. Okay? And the only power forward that was left was picked by the Phoenix Suns. And he hasn't been playing that well either. He came from Maryland. So if you're looking at the draft and you're trying to make up a plan on how you're going to draft, and you have a later pick where there were tons of guards, there was Maladone, there was Quickly, there was Bain, there was a ton of guard wings that you can choose from. But from the 8th spot down, there was no more power forwards. So schematically, you have to make a plan going into the draft and say, okay, this is how I'm going to draft. I'm going to draft this power forward here because later on I have so much more room where I can pick players at positions that I need after I take this guy. There were no more power forwards. Obi Toppin was the last one. So you got to look at it like that. The things haven't worked out perfectly as we would like it. I give you that. Like, he hasn't. But thankfully, Julius Randle has elevated to where we are afforded time with Obi Toppin. We don't have to get rid of him. There's no need.
But it's hurting the team, though. I mean, it's hurting the team that he can't do nothing in. It's good that Randall's doing good, but I mean, we talked about it before.
So how does trading him for a draft pick help us right now?
I mean, you don't have to trade for a draft. You can do draft pick. You can try to get a younger player. You can try to do things like that.
Okay.
I mean,
sometimes Obi Toppin value might be as high as it's ever going to be right now.
I mean, I think that with Obi, you know what I'm saying? If the right move came along, I would include him. I'm not going to lie, right? But if the right move doesn't come along, I'm not going to go out and just actively seek to move him. I am going to try to build and help him grow and help him develop. That's part of bringing, players along. That's part of bringing them along. I know he's a little bit older, than some of your other rookies that come into the league. But you may be able to find a way to use him at some point in time. It's not happening right now. It is what it is. I'm not going to actively go out there and say, hey, we're going to trade Obi right now. If something came along and someone made an offer and I thought it made sense, then, he's not the player that I'm going to say, oh, no, I can't move him. But I'm just not going out and just actively seeking to let him go. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, my thing is, though, sometimes, like, I definitely get what you're saying, but sometimes waiting too long could be a bad thing, too. Like, at the end of the day, I know, like,
So how do you explain Trevor Ariza?
What do you mean?
We gave up on him in a year. We gave up on him for a year.
But that was bad Knicks management. That was bad Knicks management. That doesn't count.
Well,
But again,
I mean, I'll explain it.
Trevor-
I'll
but
explain
Trevor-
it to
but
you. They
Trevor
thought,
Ariza showed promise though.
but listen, I'll explain it to you. They traded Trevor Ariza because they thought that they were getting Steve Francis back and they were going to pair him with Stephon Marbury and it was going to make the team better. That's the reason why they went ahead and they did the trade. Not that they thought he was a bad player. They just thought that they had a better player and they were making a better move to help make the team better. I want to move on from Obi because we always talk about Obi and how we're moving along with these young guys. We're 2 games above 500.
yeah,
We play the Miami Heat next. Right now we're 24 and 22 on the season. We play the Miami Heat next. The Miami Heat right now, they're 22 and 24. They've lost 6 in a row. Now, when we play them, they're going to be looking at us and saying, we need to get this win. We can get this win over this team, right? They're going to be desperate. There's no doubt about it. After losing 6 in a row, they're going to come in playing desperate. I'm glad that we were able to get this win while Julius Randle was sitting. Right? He got to rest up his legs a little bit. I'm hoping that Julius Randle can go tomorrow night against the Miami Heat. Like I said earlier, and I do think Julius Randle could have played tonight. If Giannis was playing, I think Julius Randle would have played. But because Giannis wasn't playing and all those guys wasn't playing, they said this is a chance to get Julius Randle some rest. So that was a good decision. Like I said, those thigh bruises, man, it impacts the lift that you can have while you're out there on the floor. Your explosion, all of that, it impacts it. So this was a good night that he could rest. He probably could have went, but they said, hey, we're going to let you rest. That way you're good for Miami. Right now we play against Miami tomorrow night.
is it? Hey Sim, is it tomorrow night or is it Monday?
Monday.
Oh, it's Monday. We play Miami Monday. So now he gets an extra day of rest. Right? He gets an extra day of rest to let that thing heal up. Miami's gonna come in fired up. Right? We play at home. They're going to come in fired up. We played 2 playoff-type games against Miami that went down to the wire. Tony, I'm going to start with you. What do we do? How do we beat this team?
Are they suffering from any injuries right now?
I don't know what their injuries look like right now. I have to check that out.
I think they have
Kelly Olynyk is traded, so they're very thin at center. Because Kelly Olynyk is not.
So are we right now.
Even so, we have a little bit more than them right now. But it looks like the only player that they have is
Bam.
Is Bam. And I don't know. And I think LaMarcus signing with Brooklyn was very bad for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because I think they kind of were looking forward to signing LaMarcus Aldridge. And looks like
I mean, here's my take. We played them 2 tough games down to the wire, right? Have we improved since then?
Yep,
I think so.
Maybe a little bit. I think we were right there then, similar to us being right there with the Nets, similar to us being right there with Philly. At that point, they were playing better. So hopefully with them playing bad, maybe this is one that we can take. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Usually teams are playing bad and it worries us. You know, they coming off these losing streaks and then they play us and it's like nerve-wracking. Maybe this is one that we could continue to show who we are. We're on a 3-game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
I think 4 is the furthest we got. We didn't hit 5 games win streak this year.
Three is the most games
we've won. All right,
yeah,
so
3 is the longest win streak.
Here we go. We've been talking about hurdles all year, right?
Mm-hmm.
500, getting over 500, staying over 500. Maybe this is that next hurdle for us. You know what I mean? We played a tough game tonight that we should have theoretically we should have blew them out. You know, that shouldn't sit well with us. We should come out wanting to show that we're a better team than that. We should be better prepared for the guys that we're playing against, knowing that we just played them in back-to-back not too long ago, knowing that I don't think that many of their main guys will be out. I think it's a winnable game. I think it should be considered a statement game. And then that's the biggest thing, man. You said 3 is our longest streak. Let's get a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's try to get that next notch on our belt.
Yeah.
Get that 4th seed.
And you know, I think like you asked, are we a better team? I think we are because we're more confident. I think we're more confident in ourselves, and we understand what we want to do when we're out there. The last time we played them, I think we were still figuring it out, like, what do we want to do? You know, who can do what? I think this team right now understands itself more. Tom Thibodeau understands the players more. You know, they have more confidence on who can score the ball, who can hit threes. RJ Barrett is playing much better now. Alec Burks is playing much better now. If Reggie Bullock is back, hopefully he is. He's playing much better now, right? So I think this team is a way more confident team than the first time we played them. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, a couple of things. I totally agree with you, Sam. I think we're way better than when we faced them those 2 times. Number one, we have Derrick Rose. Remember Derrick Rose? He came to the last Miami game, but wasn't allowed to play. So we're going to throw that at him. Number 2, I think we're just more coherent to playing them. I think you're going to see a much better matchup with RJ Barrett, and I think Tibbs is going to use more of the bench against these guys. And what's the longest losing streak that we've had this year?
5.
5? Okay, it doesn't feel doesn't feel like it. But yeah, I just think that I think we're mentally and physically better than what we were before. And on Miami's side, I'm telling you right now, I forget who else agreed with me, but with them missing Olenek, I'm telling you right now that's a big drop for them, because not only was he playing tough defense and hitting shots from inside, he can hit the shot outside. You take that away, that's a big because that was drawing Mitch or whoever was sticking him. You take him away, which big man for them is going to be hitting those threes from the outside, and then not to mention doing the dirty stuff for him and everything. So I think it's going to work in our favor. We're playing at home, and I think we're going to get that victory towards them this go around.
Yeah, it'd be beautiful to get that win and put together a 4-game winning streak. And L. Jordan asked, have we been 3 games over 500 this season? No. The most we've been over 500 was 2, and that's back when we were 5-3. Ever since then, we've been struggling to get back to being 2 games above 500. We're finally 2 games above 500, and that does feel good. We can beat Miami. We can go 3 games above 500, and maybe even start to build some separation between us and other teams that did get better at the trade deadline, right? The Boston Celtics, they've won 2 in a row. They got better at the trade deadline. They're still in I guess they're probably not in the running for Andre Drummond. It looks like he's going to Los Angeles. But they'll be looking to probably add, we're talking about Dang. They'll be probably looking to add Dang, right? So, people talk about getting someone like a Dang or John Henson. There's going to be some competition for those guys as well. The Celtics may be looking to add a big man. The Miami Heat, they thought they were getting LaMarcus Aldridge. He goes on to Brooklyn. They're going to be in the market for a big man, right? That can help them along. So there's going to be some competition for these big guys that's out there on the market. And now, of course, we're a little bit desperate to have another big man, a third big man out there. Let me get to a couple of phone calls, guys. Calling you live. What's popping?
Hey, Sam, this is Corey from Brooklyn.
Appreciate you, man. How you
How
doing?
you guys doing?
Good.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just want to make some quick observations.
All right.
Good minutes tonight from Knox and Obi. I think we can honestly play Obi as our Montrezl Harrell. So I know people are asking for like a center, Carlo Quinn, and stuff like that. But we have nothing. We have nothing to lose. Just play him as a third center if need be, and then see how he looks. Right? We've already done better than what everybody expected. So if we have to experiment sometimes, that's fine.
You want to try to run him at center with Julius Randle, you're saying?
No. I'm saying that he have him, in case of an emergency, have him be our third center.
Okay. Oh, you mean right now with Mitch being down? I think
exactly. So,
okay.
So there's no case. So I know this guy's probably thinking, oh my God, no, I'm not saying that. Saying let him be, instead of bringing on like Carlo Quinn or Drummond, just have him be the third center.
No, I understand what you're saying. I think right now, like if they don't bring on a Dang or a Carlo Quinn or a John Henson, they're gonna go with Julius Randle at the backup center spot, which I'm not a fan of because I mean he already
Randle,
takes a lot of beating on his body.
Yep.
Sam, once you have one of those little nagging injuries, it's easy to get the next one, right? So, I to be honest with you, I'll prefer for him not to even play in the Miami game. Give him a good 2-3 days rest. But those nagging injuries can really last for the rest of this season. There's no need to put him into that.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I appreciate your call, man. Thank you. It's something to think about.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it. Yep.
And, I'm looking in the chat, and I see somebody said we should have never cut BX Jedi. He said it was a mistake to cut the front center that we got from the Austin trade. Let me tell you what. I just went and looked at some video on the guy. I thought the Knicks were going to give him a chance. Right? I thought that they would give him a look. When they waived him, that's what made me say, oh, they are serious about going and getting Andre Drummond. Because, listen, the guy can shoot threes. He's strong. He can rebound. He can set screens. He can pop off of those screens, right? He can block shots. I'm not saying he's an all-world center. That's not what I'm saying. But he can do those things. And I thought this might be a guy that they kept around in case of Mitch or Nerlens Noel got hurt, because I didn't know. We kind of had an idea that they might be interested in Drummond, but wasn't for sure. When they waived him, I said, okay, they might be looking to go after Drummond once they waived him. Now that guy's out there. I don't even know if they can get him back. But the guy, he played on the French national team with Frank Ntilikina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's 28 years old, 27, 28 years old. Last year was his first year in the league, so he was a rookie last year. Obviously an old rookie. But he can do some things on the basketball court. He's just, maybe he's not the most athletic and those type of things, but he would have been able to come in and maybe give you a few meaningful minutes a game if you needed him to. Now the Knicks are, looking in another direction.
Now, when you waive somebody, you can't get them back, right?
There's so many different rules. When you buy somebody out, you can't play. That player can't play for your team for another year. I'm not sure if it's that way when you waive them. You might be able to bring the guy back once you waive him.
Okay, so when they just waived him, they didn't have to pay him nothing or anything like that.
They had to pay him. They had to pay him.
Okay.
So they waive him. He goes on the waiver wire. If another team picks him up, I don't think he has to pay him. They have to pay him. But once he gets off that waiver wire, he becomes a free agent. You got to pay him. You got to pay him. All their money is guaranteed in the NBA. These guys getting paid no matter what.
Got it.
Let's take a listen to Tibbs. This is Tibbs, who gives a little bit of injury updates on Mitchell Robinson and talks about tonight's game. This is Tom Thibodeau, ladies and gentlemen.
In the post-game on TV with Mike Breen, Derek heard about Mitchell Robinson and actually kind of choked up. He was so emotional about hearing the injury. What is the mood inside the room right now after what happened to Mitchell?
Yeah, it's, obviously they care about each other a lot. And Mitchell's been terrific for us. So you hate to see it. It's a very close-knit group. You feel for Mitchell because of all the work that he's put in. And he'll be fine. He'll have to go through, the rehab and stuff, but he's been through that before. And then just maximize his time that way. But you feel for a teammate, and it's part of the game. So you have to deal with it as best you can.
Amanda Hajar.
Coach, a win's a win, and you were able to pull it out tonight. What did you see, just the resiliency from the team to stay the course, despite the ups and downs throughout the game?
Yeah, and that's I think the challenge of the season is how quickly can you adapt. And you go into a game and you're planning for all the possibilities, and you want to be ready, and then you have a number of guys that are out, and then you have guys that are out as well, and then you have an injury during the game. And then you're facing a zone for the entire game. So, and it comes down to your ability to, rise above whatever challenges that you're facing and find a way to win. So it's hard to win on the road. We knew they wouldn't change their style of play. And because of the way they shoot the three, you knew there would be an abundance of those threes. We were concerned about Lopez in the post. And we had to do all we could to come out with the win, but obviously very pleased with the win.
Greg Joyce.
Tom, how did Derek look to you, and did you plan to play him as much as you did, or was that just kind of a product of the fourth quarter?
We talked about it. He's put a lot into his conditioning, and Derek will communicate with me and let me know when he feels he needs to rest. So obviously his conditioning was very good.
Joe Varden.
How serious is Julius? And then you just went through this with Mitchell being out 15 games. Do you envision playing it pretty much the same way you did while he was out the first time?
Yeah, I think, I love our team because I love the versatility. I thought, when Leon added Taj, that was huge for us because it gives us insurance at the 5. It gives us insurance at the 4. We thought that if Giannis was playing, that would be our best matchup. I don't if there is a good matchup. He's that type of player, but Taj does whatever you ask of him, and he plays hard all the time. So veteran experience, and then we'll go from there. We'll talk about it. I'm sure Leon and the staff will have some thoughts, and obviously haven't had a chance to visit with them yet.
So that sounds to me, what he just said there at the end, that makes me a little bit more concerned with Julius Randle's leg, because it sounded to me like they were planning to sit Julius Randle anyway, right? Because he said, going with Taj gave us the best chance to guard Giannis if Giannis was going to play. Sound to me like, they were planning on to have Julius Randle sit. So hopefully it's not as serious. It's not super serious, and it's not going to be out for any extended period of time. Or we definitely can't afford that. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Hey, what's up, son? This is Kareem.
What's going on with you, man?
Hey, not much, man. Disappointed about the Mitch thing. But things happen. This is just the nature of the sport.
Yeah, I'm disappointed about it as well, man. What do you think about tonight's game, and what do you think we do moving forward?
Well, I like the game. I like to give a shout out to Eddie too, man. Great perspective, with the draft, and sometimes we as fans we need that rational perspective. But I think that we great win. I agree with your point about the zone and that being a result of us having the amount of assists that we did. And, great win. Hopefully we can get up that Miami win too as well, man. But I do think we might try to go after Drummond now. We have the money and we need to spend that money, if I'm not mistaken, prior to the season's end.
I mean, we don't have to. We can keep the money.
Well, what is it, 90% of it, right?
Well, you can keep the money and then just give it to the players at the end of the season.
The players, yeah.
Split it up. So, you can
like
do
bonus,
that.
Right?
Right, as like a little bonus or whatever. So you don't have to spend it in that way.
We're going to need a big man. We're going to need a big man.
We're going to need more insurance policy.
Bad.
Taj Gibson was an insurance policy. Now we need another insurance policy.
Yeah, and I like to make a comment on Drummond, man. Like, let's stop acting like this man hasn't been an all-star in the past. Like, this dude is not a scrub. We can say, of course, he's an antiquated center. We want to play that narrative, but dude is not a scrub. And he would help us.
I agree with you. I don't know if the Knicks right now have that kind of interest in Andre Drummond. I guess we'll see. He has not announced anything yet. You would think by now he would have said, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
No announcements yet. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm sure he was watching tonight. And I'm sure he got the news.
Was.
Yep. I'm sure he got the news, so we'll see what happens, man. Kareem, I appreciate the call, bro.
I appreciate you having me. Have a good night.
Oh, I ain't mean to cut him off that early, the way I cut him off. I meant for him to go ahead and get his finish his last sentence. Go ahead, Isaiah.
I was just thinking, man. I mean, right now, where if you're Andre Drummond, it pretty much comes down to $15 million or a championship. What do you value more? I think
or a chance. Let's say a chance at a championship. Let's just say that.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. It's not giving this shit, definitely. So he's gonna go either you take the 15 or you get a chance with the Lakers to go win the championship. So, I mean,
but I think it also comes down to more than that, right? Yeah, you can have a chance to get a championship as the fourth or fifth leg on the team. You can have a chance to do that. He also, might be looking at his career going further. He plays for the Lakers. Maybe he's 10 points, 15 rebounds, and people are looking at him and saying, yeah, this is how much you're worth. He goes and plays for a team where with the Knicks, he's going to have a much bigger role if he played with the Knicks. And then free agency comes around because even the Lakers, they can't sign him past this year right now. They can't sign him past this year until they make more moves later on. So they can only sign him for the remainder of the season. The Knicks are the only team that can sign him past this season if they wanted to right now, right? So he could look at it and say, well, you know what? I can get some guaranteed money, be in a stable situation if the Knicks looked at him that way, be in a stable situation, still be able to put up my numbers while being on a winning team that's contending for the playoffs, right? He could look at it that way, or he could look at it and say, yeah, let me go get this little ring real quick, and then hopefully my market value is high. So, I think it's a tough.
Don't say little ring.
I think it's to me it kind of is. Because they're gonna win, they're gonna be there regardless, the way that I see it, right? So he's kind of jumping on the coattails on that one. That's my opinion on that one, and I'm not judging him for that. I'm just saying, it's not like to me, he's kind of jumping on the coattails because they're probably gonna be there regardless. He gives him a better chance, of course, to beat the Utah Jazz because they got Rudy Gobert. They got a big guy there. Marc Gasol is not getting it for the Lakers. So, it depends on what he wants to do and how he wants to look forward. I think he's got to have some foresight with it as well. He might feel, hey, I can go get me a championship and still be on the market, make the money, and find me a long-term home. Or he might feel like, you know what, I want to be able to prove myself. With the Knicks, I can prove myself on a playoff team and then get paid. So who knows? You know what I'm saying, Eddie?
I just wanted to say that I think we don't have 15 million anymore. I think it's closer to 12 million and change now.
Yeah, like 13.5 or something like that.
13.5,
right. Yeah. So we have a little bit less. Like you were saying that, we're the ones that have the opportunity to sign him to a longer term deal, a 3-year deal, which if he's going to sign, I think with the Knicks, that's what he's looking for. But I also think that if he signs on the minimum deal with the Lakers, they might have a wink-wink deal where they might, after the season, sign him to a longer-term deal, being that Marc Gasol looks like he's not going to be there next year, and Montrezl Harrell, I believe, has a team option next year. So they might be looking at him as a piece for the future for the next 2 or 3 years while their championship window is open. So I'm thinking that's more along the lines of what LA is pitching to him, compared to what the Knicks can offer. And I just don't think the Knicks are ready to make that commitment to him, being that they want to be flexible for if somebody wants to come over, or somebody of more value wants to come over to play with the Knicks, be it this year or next year, this offseason or next offseason.
Are you saying more value at the center spot or just more value overall? Because because the Knicks are gonna have like $60 million available. So even if they did pay him for 3 years, right, and it was say $18 million a year, I mean, you still have enough where you can go out and sign a guy. So are you saying at his position or overall?
At his position and overall, because I believe that once we make our moves, we're going to sign Julius to a long-term deal next year. Because I don't think it's prudent after the season that he had this year to have him on that expiring contract for $18 million. To me, that's a slap in the face, and I've said this many times. If you're going to keep the guy, it's better if you extend him next year, and just put him in the fold, leave him in the fold, and not have him play on that extension. I think you're just playing with fire there, not extending Julius. And yeah, next year, there's a lot of players that I was looking at, like it kind of like changed a little bit, because I was looking at some players like the free agency class wasn't that good, but then players like Norman Powell came up. You know what I mean? DeMar DeRozan is an unrestricted free agent. There's a few other there that can really benefit. We don't know if we want to bring back some of the players that we already have on the roster. So some of that money is going to get tied up into that. So the inkling that I've been getting, and just reading the tea leaves, is that they don't want to make that commitment to Andre Drummond. They don't want to commit, $13 million a year for 3 years on Andre Drummond, and then not have the flexibility to use that $13 million on another type of player like a DeMar DeRozan or Norman Powell, who's going to command some money. Or even if they want to go after restricted free agents like Lonzo Balls and Gary Trent Jr. and stuff like that. So I don't think it behooves them either to spend that money right now. It's better if you just get some pieces, some veteran pieces to now having Mitch gone to just ease. Because let's face it, like, we're playing way above our heads. We didn't even think that we would be in the position where we would say, oh, let's trade pieces to make a playoff run. So, we're playing with house money, and let's just keep it like that. Just keep that train flowing like that and not rock the boat per se, so that, something that's not going to benefit us will happen. That's just my thinking of why they're not committing to a person like Andre Drummond, because I believe if they would offer, Andre would have already signed. If they would have offered him the $13 million, we would already had a tweet saying that he already signed with New York. So since they're not offering, it's not even a thing to think about. Paying somebody that amount of money in that position or whatever position it would have been.
Yeah. No, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's all valid points. I see someone in the chat. Okay, he said if he is a contributor and the Lakers win a championship, it'll raise his stock. He's the same age as Anthony Davis. I think he's a little older than Anthony Davis, but for the most part, they're about the same age. And, it could raise his stock. It could also say, you jumped onto their coattails. Guess it would depend on his performance. Listen, he'll be a contributor. There's no doubt about that. And I do agree that they'd probably look at, saying, hey, we're going to have some money in the summer. We'll make sure we take care of you.
I believe Dennis Schroeder is a free agent after this year too.
Dennis Schroeder's a free agent after this season. There's going to be guys out there on the market that are free agents, but right now for next season, the Knicks have $48 million committed. The salary cap is probably going to be between 109 and 115, so that gives them, $60+ million to spend in free agency. Now, of course, some of that money goes away because of draft picks, right? They got 2 draft picks, 2 first-round draft picks. If they draft both of those players, they got to pay both of those players. So some of that money goes there. If they, I think there's a Terrence Ferguson, he gets a qualifying offer. They probably won't make that qualifying offer. Frank Ntilikina gets a qualifying offer. They probably won't make that qualifying offer. So, they'll have most of that money. Then they got to decide who do they want to bring back. I think they'll bring back pieces like Burks, Reggie Bullock, Nerlens Noel. Maybe they might bring back too as well. So there will be some pieces that they definitely bring back from this year. It's going to be interesting.
And Mitch will also be there. I mean, he's still under contract for next year on a cheap contract. So... it's really sad. It's really sad what happened to him, man, because, putting New York Knicks aside, that kid wanted to secure his future, man. And that injury really puts a damper on what he was trying to accomplish, man.
Yep. And I just seen in the chat, I meant to say, Stephen Kennedy, I think AD, Anthony Davis, is a little bit older than Andre Drummond. That's what I meant to say, but yeah, you're right. Andre Drummond is 27. Anthony Davis just turned 28. That's what I meant to say, but I think I said it backwards. You got 2 ADs in the building. Mitchell Robinson, he sent out a tweet about 15 minutes ago. Says, as soon as I start to get back to myself, this happens. I watched the video a few times. That's some BS. Yeah, I know he's hurting, man. I know he's hurting. And then he just... tweeted again a couple minutes ago. He said, I've been taking a beating all year long. Feel bad for him, man. Feel bad for him. Ian Begley tweeted something out. My bad, Isaiah. Just tweeted something out. I didn't get a chance to listen to it yet. I don't want to listen to it on air. I'll wait until afterwards. I don't want to, put something on that I don't have permission to. Said, but he just tweeted something. He said, a look at Mitchell Robinson's injury, how it might impact the Knicks' previously lukewarm approach on Andre Drummond, and why it robbed Mitchell Robinson of an important opportunity with the New York Knicks. That sounds like, he says, why it may have an impact on the Knicks' previously lukewarm approach on Andre Drummond. And like most of us are thinking, it may change the Knicks' thinking at this point. But it may not, because the Knicks were successful without Mitchell Robinson.
I just want to interrupt you for a second. There's somebody in there that's talking crazy, man. I don't like that, bro.
What happened? What did it say?
Bobby Agler, he was talking about you, man. I don't know what you do in these situations, but I'm not down with that, bro.
I'll check it out. I'll check it. I'll check it out and see what it is. I'll check it out and see what it is, because we can always take it out.
And hey, Sam, I got it. I'm gonna remove him.
Yeah, we'll take him out of there. Thank you. Appreciate that. I see it. We don't even got to repeat what it is. We'll go ahead and take it out.
Man, I ain't down with that.
That's dumb stuff. You know, and we can remove him from the chat altogether. And there we go. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Eddie. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. See, when you go into somebody else's house and you wear a shirt that says ban that person, you get kicked out. Go ahead, Big Bubba.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but bye, Bobby. See you later, Bobby. Yeah. I don't know what I'm about to say now. I don't know what I was about to say. I got to look at the guy. He was talking crazy. I don't know what's wrong with that dude. But Sim, you the man, Sim. So since we kicked out Bobby, can we piss off Bobby and get some more likes in here? You know, we got 382 people only and less than 150 likes. Can we piss off Bobby and get some likes, y'all? I would appreciate that. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't remember what I was gonna say. Just piss off Bobby and get some likes. Yeah, listen, everybody piss
Don't
off
even
Bobby
remember
and get
what he
some
was gonna
likes in
say. So it's gonna be interesting, man. We'll see what happens. And Peter Abraham, thank you for the super chat. He said, check out Mitch's tweet. What do you think? And that's what I just read, Mitch's tweets.
Yo, Sim, I'm sorry, Eddie, but they said shout out to E, bro. We appreciate you, E, bro. Yeah, you do look like E, bro. That's the crazy thing. You do, like, you have a lady?
Nah, man, of course not, bro. But I look like him, so it's all right.
Sound like you heard that before.
It's actually your fault, Bubba. You the one that started it.
I ain't the one who started it, man.
Everybody just kept on. But I mean, I look like it. What you want me to do? I look like DJ Khaled too, but what you want me to do?
We the best.
Hey. We the best.
Well, anyway, man, we're going to find out what's going on in the next couple of days. I will be on tomorrow, do a shoot around tomorrow. I don't know what time. Probably just be a little short one, maybe talk about the buyout market, do some research, find out what players are on the buyout market, who might suit the Knicks, you know, what we have, the roster spot, or, you know, our needs, you know, what might fit us the best, you know, so we'll take a look at that. I don't know if the Knicks get any kind of injured player exception or anything like that because of Mitchell Robinson for the season. They may, right? So that may mean that they have the ability to add 2 more players, but so I don't know. I don't know, because they do have a roster spot available. Big shout out to Tito Vaziano. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. So we will see what the Knicks plan to do, ladies and gentlemen. Sergio Maldonado, he said, hey, Sim, if you had to fill the last Knicks roster spot, who would you get? I mean, I would go get Andre Drummond. I would. You know, as long as it's a fair deal, I would go get Andre Drummond. If we can't get Andre Drummond, then I might be looking towards a John Henson or you know, a Dang.
Yo, Sam, someone said Joakim Noah.
Somebody in the chat said Gordy Dang played under Tom Thibodeau in Minnesota too.
Right, he did. He did.
I think that's very important.
Yep.
Hey, Sam,
it's very important because Tom Thibodeau doesn't have to teach him much. He knows what he wants to do already, right? He might know the system already, be familiar with the system. So, you know, that probably goes a long way. Yeah, what's up, Big Bro?
Hey, Sam. We're already paying him. Bring Joakim Noah back. We're already paying him.
That man retired, man. What are you talking about?
we still paying that Joker.
We are. He hung him up.
Make him earn it.
He hung him up, man. He hung him up. Just let him get on the phone. Let him get on the phone and make those phone calls. How about that? He can get on he could be a recruiter or something. I don't know. He's not suiting him up anymore. He's not tying him up. Go ahead, Tony.
What's your thoughts on both? Well, one, Tyson Chandler, and then we spoke about Boogie, and I was just thinking it's interesting dynamic because we've been hearing about it all year long as far as like the organization and then Tibbs and then you know what I mean, like so you got Dang who's a Tibbs guys because he played under Tibbs. You got the Kentucky connection with Cousins,
right,
and the front office connection with that guy. So it's like a weird dynamic to know, do they go Tibbs' way with a guy he's coached already? Do they go with the Kentucky connection? A defensive player of the year and former champion and Tyson Chandler. There's a couple options out there.
Yeah, and I think you gotta go with whatever Tibbs wants at this point because Tibbs got to coach him. Tibbs got to rush him into the system. I think you got to go. Whoever Tibbs says, go get me this guy, that's the guy you got to try to go get, I think.
Yeah, I think most likely he's going to be Dang. Most likely, he played on the top of Thibodeau. Then Tyson Chandler's way too old, man. We already got ties on this team, man. Tyson Chandler's, I think he's done. But it's looking like Dang, most likely.
And then one last thing I want to say to everybody, the chat, the panel, maybe we should leave KP alone. And maybe it's the basketball gods giving us some karma for, always talking about injury prone and blah, 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 blah. So,
you might be right.
So
let that man live, right?
Let's leave.
Let that man live. Yeah, I feel you on that.
And let's wish for a speedy recovery for Mitch.
Yeah. And whoever it is that we target to go after, there's going to be competition again. Boston, Miami, Charlotte. They were looking at Andre Drummond. They might feel like they need some big man help. So it's going to be teams out there looking to beef up their benches as well. We're going to head up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Last words, man. Tony, you want to get some last words? Then we'll go around the board.
Yes, sir. As always, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the panel. Slim, keep doing your thing. Your black is time. See you next time.
All right. Peace. Big Bubba.
I know you're not going to say it, Sam, but Bobby's an idiot, whoever that Bobby dude was. You a straight up sucker. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess with my main man, something like that, all right? Now let's get them likes up to 200 to piss Bobby crusty ass off.
Eddie?
Yeah, I just want to say it was fun, man. It was fun to be in the building, to talk to you guys, talk Knicks, talk basketball, talk about life, talk about everything, have some laughs, and just stay the course. And the Knicks have been doing great this year, and just be glad that we're doing good, and just hope that we get to the playoffs and keep on cheering them on and do all we can to help the team out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Appreciate it. Glad you're here. Hope you come back often. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I will see you tomorrow. I can't say exactly what time. I don't know. But I'll do a shoot around sometime tomorrow. You'll get a little message. Might be shorter than normal. We'll probably talk about that buyout market, looking at which players might really be on the buyout market and what fits our needs right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Please, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button. Go check out Uncle Fulio's video. All right, make sure you go check that out. If you didn't get to see it earlier today, go check it out right now. I'm going to put that link in the chat. It's got a brand new segment with us, ladies and gentlemen. It's called The Controversy. As you know, that guy always comes with some kind of controversy, right? And he did a whole segment on missed opportunities. How convenient that he did a segment on missed opportunities, and now here we are. We need another opportunity to come our way. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see y'all later. Go check out the video. Out of here. Be peaceful, ladies and gentlemen. Spread love. We out.